Support for Radio Friends comes from OsteoStrong. Improvements in bone density, strength, and power can be achieved by weekly 5-minute no-sweat sessions on their 4-spectrum machines. These isometric robotic machines safely emulate high-impact loading on different parts of the skeletal system, which stimulates activity in bone-building cells. Balance and agility can be improved by 2-minute sessions on vibration plates. Every session is supervised by a trained coach. Learn more on Facebook or call to set up a complimentary wellness assessment and session. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, the first day of June. Good to have you with us today. And our next guest used to be a regular with us on the old Pepper and Friends show, Dr. Gerry Heisler. Dr. Heisler, for many years you were with Mid-Missouri Mental Health. You have since retired. But you have written a book called Relationship Boot Camp, and you cover all different topics in here. Today, we thought we'd talk a little bit about anger. So many people are angry at one thing or another these days. How do we overcome anger? How do we control anger?
I think, first of all, we have to realize what anger is. We all have an anger reservoir, and there's a threshold here. And as that gets built up and built up and built up, once you get over threshold, you're going to act out. The anger has to come out of your system. If it doesn't, you could be hypertense, have migraines, headaches, be ulcerative or pre-ulcerative. There's psychosomatic effects, high blood pressure that you can have from this anger that's building up and building up. What anxiety is I'm very angry. And this isn't just someone pulling a gun on you that's going to make you anxious, but I'm angry. I'm watching the news. I'm interacting in social media, and there are people making me angry, and I'm blocking it. And so when we block the expression of anger, this is what anxiety feels like. And when we're over threshold and we're blocking the anger, we're anxious. If we're directing the anger back at ourselves, that's depression. And so what we hear so much about is the escalating numbers of depression and anxiety in our world. It's not just the United States. And people are acting out now, Paul. People are frightened. You go to a grocery store, there's shootings. You go to a Walmart, there's shootings. You go to a church, there's shootings. You go anywhere now, and people are starting to be concerned about their safety because people are acting out. They're very angry. And the question is why? Why now? What's creating this?
And what can you do to rein in that anger? If you feel that you are starting to be overcome with anger, what can we do on a personal level?
What we can try to do, first of all, is understanding leads to acceptance, leads to forgiveness. For example, if you're in a crowded elevator and someone bumps into you, you may be angry and say to yourself, I don't deserve this. Who they think they are? This isn't fair. And you turn around and you see that they're sight impaired. They're blind. Are you still angry? Usually not, because you're going to have understanding, acceptance, and forgiveness. The more, and this is called cognitive behavior therapy, the more you can give yourself self-talk about things around you. What you can start to do is pull away from things which make you angry. Recognize what makes you angry. If watching that news show makes you angry,
don't watch it.
If getting on that social media site makes you angry,
don't go to it.
If watching even that sporting event makes you angry,
don't watch it.
Exactly.
But wait.
Okay.
Is that not burying your head in the sand then?
It's not feeding the beast. Some people, Paul, are anger addicts. They live to be angry. It keeps them from being bored.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think we all know people like that. If you know somebody like that, how do you handle it?
Are you comfortable with the way you're dealing with your anger? You seem to be angry all the time. And this is something that...
this is what you would say to someone.
People ask me, what do I do about a spouse that has an addiction problem? And this is an addiction issue. People live to be angry because they would be bored without it. I would say to them, Can you be at peace for 5 minutes? Try it. And I caution some of our viewers, try to not be angry for 5 minutes. You'd be surprised how difficult that is. So first, like with any addiction, you're aware of it, that I have a problem here. Why am I so angry? What am I doing about releasing it? There's exercise. One of the things in my career I found is curative is talking. I really don't know. And here I am, a 45 years experienced psychotherapist. Why sitting down and talking and people having a catharsis of getting things out is helpful? It is. Being able to have fun is curative. Laughing is a great thing to do. To find your pastimes that don't make you angry.
Okay, and if you realize this is happening, if you have a friend you can talk to, or if you have to seek professional help, talking about it releases. It's like taking the pressure off the pressure cooker. You're releasing steam.
Exactly.
You're going to feel better yourself, and not just mentally, but physically. Because all that pressure and that anger is not good for your body.
Exactly. Again, if you're just so pent up, it affects your sleep and your appetite and your interest in things. And people are so angry. We're becoming so politically polarized. And people, again, the more understanding, accepting, and forgiving you are. Another thing that helps many people, Paul, is their spirituality. Now, no, I'm not going to, try to do an apologetic sermon here, but certainly people who have a spiritual base can deal with anger in a different way because they're called to be forgiving as they have been forgiven, and that's really important. There's some real aspects to that help people deal with anger.
Okay, if some people may be listening and they say, yeah, I would like to talk to somebody, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid to make that first call to talk to a doctor or a psychoanalyst. You got to take that first step yourself, don't you?
It's scary to change, Paul, and it's scary not to change. And I think sometimes, really, it's scarier not to change. And nowadays, though I don't do this, people will meet with you through Zoom. You don't even have to go to an office anymore.
Okay. So if you feel that you are stressed and you need to reach out, do reach out to someone. If you want to read the book, it's called Relationship Bootcamp. You cover anger in here?
Absolutely. And It's available on Amazon.com. You look up Relationship Bootcamp, Dr. Gerry Heisler, you will find it. Got a real good reaction to it, Paul.
Okay.
There was a podcast that had an interview, and 500,000 people accessed it.
Well, Dr. Gerry Heisler, it's a pleasure having you on Radio Friends. Please come back again. If there's something that you would like to hear or see, I would love to hear from you. Drop me an email, pepperp@missouri.edu, and release that anger and smile and laugh. As Dr. Anand Chucklingham says, smile 60 times an hour. Okay? Bye-bye.